Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Nur Kalisha binti Muhammad Shah. I am a postgraduate student from Faculty of Food Science and Technology, UST Putra, Malaysia. Today I would like to present to all of you my project entitled of the physicochemical properties of shortening based on red palm olein for sandwich cookies cream formulation. So basically, the overall of my presentation is I will start with the introduction, followed by materials and methods. Then we go for the results and discussion, and finally we close this presentation with some conclusions. So basically, the first part of the introduction, I would like to explain on the palm oil product. So Malaysia was nominated as the second world largest palm product producer, where we produce more than 178 billion ringgit production per year by 2020. So this palm-based product were known as a high profit plant that produce more than one kind of fat products, which including palm oil, palm stearin, palm olein, red palm olein, and also palm meat fraction. So these palm-based products will possess different properties which behave differently in food system. So the second part, which is the red palm olein, which is known as a premium palm-based product. This red palm olein, which is short form as RPOL, was obtained from the modification of refining process involve molecular distillation process. So basically, this red palm olein was retained more than 80% phytonutrients compound, which including carotenoids, tocopherol, and also tocotrienol. So this red palm olein was had been the richest source of natural vitamin A and vitamin E, where we use it for reducing oxidative status in human body. So the third part was the sandwich cookies cream. This is also known as a cream filling by other previous studies, which this product was applied in between cookies that form into sandwich cookies. So basically, this SCC in short form was usually composed of 20 to 40% of fats, 0.2 to 0.3% of water activity, 20 to 22% of moisture. So basically, this SCC was usually contain more than 25% of solid fat content at 25 degrees Celsius and able to melt quickly as it reach body temperature. So this product must have good shelf stability, high resistance towards oxidation, and also less greasy sensation in mouth. Now I would like to further my presentation with the main objective of my project, which is to develop and characterize the palm-based shortening for sandwich cookies cream based on red palm olein, palm oil, and palm stearin at different ratios by weight, as shown in the screen, the ratio used in my project. So I would like to proceed with the materials and method, where at the first stage I perform the oil blending based on the following ratios. Then goes with the development of shortening from the previous oil blend using this particular method, which started with melting and homogenizing the fat blends, then goes with speed homogenizing of fat blend at 20 degrees Celsius of water bath for crystallization, and then the fat blend was incubated at 20 degrees Celsius for approximately 48 hours in order to produce shortening. Then proceed the experiment with conducting the physicochemical analysis, which including a fatty acid composition, iodine value, sleep melting point, and also solid fat content. Then the experiment was proceeded with conducting physical analysis on the developed shortening by involving texture profile analysis and also creaming tests. So I would like to proceed with the result and discussion obtained in my studies, which is the first result based on the table 2 shows in the screen, where the table 2 illustrated on the fatty acid composition of the shortening. So based on this result, we can see that SH0 and SH5 had significantly the highest in saturated fatty acid composition, yet lowest in monounsaturated fatty acid and polyunsaturated fatty acid. While for SH10, you can see that it contain significantly the highest in monounsaturated fatty acid and also polyunsaturated fatty acid, yet lowest in saturated fatty acid. This finding indicate that the gradual increase in percentage of red palm olein in the shortening have result in increase in both mono and polyunsaturated fatty acid, but not in saturated, where we can see the decreasing amount of saturated fatty acid from SH0 to SH10. So we can conclude that this may due to the greater liquid-like properties of red palm oil shows. I would like to proceed my presentation with the second result of my study based on table 3 as shown in the screen, illustrated on the iodine value and sleep melting point of shortening. So this result shows that SH0 and SH5 had significantly the lowest in iodine value, but highest in sleep melting point, while SH10 had significantly the highest in iodine value, yet lowest in sleep melting point. So this finding was in line with study reported by Zaliha 2014, which mentioned on the increase in iodine value but decrease in sleep melting point, as increase in amount of soybean oil in fat blends consists of palm oil. So it can be concluded that due to presence of soft oils such as red palm olein, soybean oil, and others possess higher unsaturated fatty acid, which leads to changes in iodine value and sleep melting point. Then the result on the solid fat content, you can see based on the graph provided on the screen. The result shows that the solid fat content was insignificantly different among all shortening at all temperature, especially at 25 degrees Celsius and 37 degrees Celsius. These temperatures were important, especially for confectionery product, because solid fat content must contain more than 30% solid fat content at 25 degrees Celsius in order to provide structural stability and to avoid oil leakage from the food product, particularly solid fat content at room temperature. Besides that, at 37 degrees Celsius, the solid fat content must have approximately between 5 to 15% in order to allow the fat to completely melt at body temperature, which able to promote better flavor release, and also prevented from waxy mouth feel during eating. So lastly, on the result and discussion obtained from this study, which is illustrated on the texture profile analysis and also creaming performance of the shortening, we can see that the result shows the SH0 and SH5 had significantly the highest in hardness compared to SH10. This finding made due to the low amount of red palm olein in both shortening, which triggered a greater post-hardening phenomenon on the shortening. While for HCH5, it showed the greatest screaming performance as compared to HH0 and HH10, as it was gradually increased in volume as increased in beating time. So this conclude that the HH5 have the most desirable ability of fat to have a better air incorporation during beating, which promote better creaming performance. Lastly, I would like to conclude my presentation by saying that increase in the amount of red palm olein result in significant decrease in saturated fatty acid, iodine value, and also hardness, yet increase the mono and also polyunsaturated fatty acid, as well as increase the slip melting point of the shortening. Secondly, I would like to say that shortening with 0 to 10% of red palm olein resulted in no significant difference in solid fat content, while HH5 showed the most desirable in terms of hardness and also creaming performance of the shortening. So I would like to recommend it for future study, to develop more palm-based food product based on red palm oleins in order to produce healthier food choices for our local consumer. So this the references that I use in my studies. So I think with that, thank you.